apologize, but it has been a hell of a morning. Miss Callie has been sick for the very first time this morning, and I am really sad about it. I'm not super sad about it, honestly. I think I'm concerned, and it broke my heart while it was happening, and her poor little, just watching, like, she's still so small, and watching her poor little tiny little body throw up. We went on our usual walk this morning that I take, and this morning the walk was actually really hard for me. Having a really hard time breathing today. I don't know what it is. There's something in the air. I'm just not breathing today. It could also be because we are hitting the end of week 2 of back to school, which means all the germs are coming back, which, you know, is my favorite part about kids going back to school. I'm actually hungry this morning, so I gotta make something to eat, but I have this idea and this plan in mind. Yesterday, actually, we did our parent-teacher conference, which, by the way, oh my God, no, sorry, it wasn't a conference. We don't do a parent-teacher conference. It's like a parent-teacher meet. And I found out that my son has a little group of guys that, like, I think that there's 5 or 6 of them, I can't remember. But they were all like kind of friends last year, and this year they are like a pack. They do everything. It's, oh my, like, I almost want to cry. They do everything together. They watch out for each other, and they're not mean kids either. Like, they help out. She even said that they were helping out the new kids in the class and stuff, like, as a group. They go outside together. They do all their projects together. Like, they're just stuck together like magnets, she said. And that warmed my heart so much. Like, I can't, and for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's the 90s kid in me, but it just flashed back to all those movies where you see, like, the kids, and they're like the group of kids that are like biking down the street, and they're creating this bond, and then the movie flashes forward to when they're in their 20s or 30s and they're dealing with adult problems, and they still have each other in their lives. And it just made me think, like, those kinds of things. I want to leave this city that I'm in. I do. There are parts of me that just want to pack up and go. But then something like that happens, and I'm like, I want him to have this lifelong bond with these kids, with these boys. Like, I hope that they become groomsmen at his wedding one day, or if he chooses to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it actually all went really well. It went so well, in fact, that I took the kids out for ice cream last night on the way home, and it was great. Anyways, I'm gonna go have my coffee. I'm gonna go relax for a second, and hopefully my headache will go away soon. And I think I'm gonna do some baking in a little bit. I have been craving a breakfast sandwich for a while, and breakfast sandwiches, sometimes they come on biscuits, but I love a good breakfast sandwich on an English muffin, and I've always wanted to see if I can make English muffins. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's make some English muffins. All you're gonna need is water, sugar, yeast, oil, flour, salt, and some cornmeal. So the debate I'm having in my head right now is, do I pull out my stand mixer and use the dough hook to make my English muffins, or should I try and do it by hand? If you watch my cooking videos or any of these videos and you want to try and, oh, it's my shelf. Okay, I was like, what is that dark, ominous figure behind me? Creepy. If you watch any of my videos and you are wanting to dive into any kind of bread making or any kind of cooking at all, would you rather me do, I think today I'm gonna try by hand, but please leave me a comment and let me know, because I like to do both. It depends on the day, really, and how I'm feeling, but I do actually like to do both. So if you would rather see me do more hand mixing recipes rather than using my stand mixer or using electronic things, because I understand that a lot of people don't have a stand mixer, and I'm fortunate to have one because it was handed down to me. I didn't pay for it. It's a KitchenAid. It's a great stand mixer. I would love a new one, but it's not in the cards for me anytime soon because they're not exactly the most affordable thing, and I understand that entirely. Like I said, I'm only privileged enough to have one because it was handed down to me by somebody who didn't really use it, didn't really need it, and they gave it to me. I'm incredibly grateful for that. Yeah, so if you would rather see me do more things by hand, please let me know, and I will try and work that into my skill set and my sharing and all of that. I'm gonna do it by hand. What have we got? What do we need? How much flour? 1 1/4 cup of flour. It's not that big of a dough, so I have a glass bowl I can use so that you can see everything. It should be fine. Okay, we're gonna do it by hand, and let's see how this goes. So yesterday I went to my kid's parent-teacher conference open house situation type thing. And on the way home, I saw a cardinal on a fence. And if you guys understand, if you've heard of the cardinal theory, the cardinals are usually a sign from somebody who's on the other side that they are, I'm gonna cry, that they are with you, that they are there and they see you and they're still watching you, and all of those things. If you want to learn more about the cardinal theory, I highly suggest looking it up. It is a beautiful thing and I love it. And although cardinals are pretty common around my area, I haven't actually seen that many this year. I haven't, not in my yard anyway. We had to walk a great distance, Oh my God, I sound like a storyteller now, huh? We had to walk a pretty good while to get to my kids' school from where we had to park, because there's a lot of no parking signs, and actually new no parking signs put up around the school. So I'm sure a lot of residents in that area have been complaining about the parking. So we walked. We parked pretty far away from the school and we walked, which is not a problem, whatever. It's a beautiful day. It wasn't hot yesterday. It was really nice out, and we walked. So as we were leaving the school and we were walking back to the car, I looked up, and one of the houses really close to the school, there was a cardinal, and it was just sitting on the fence. And normally when you point out a bird, by the time anybody else can see that bird, the bird is gone, because birds don't stay put for very long. But I pointed out, I said, oh, there's a cardinal. And I don't normally jump to the conclusion that it is a loved one visiting. It's not something I bring out. I think cardinals are beautiful, but it's not something I normally connect. I don't usually say, oh, look, grandpa's visiting or grandma's visiting or whatever. But on the way home from the school yesterday, I saw a cardinal on one of the fences, and I said to Anthony, I said, look, there's a cardinal. And I said to the kids, I was like, look, great grandma's watching you. She's proud of you. Callie's climbing on my butt right now. Always count on the puppy to lighten the mood for you a little bit. So I said to him, I said, look, there's a cardinal. And I said that to the kids too. I said, there's a like grandma's watching. She came to visit you. The reason I put that connection together is because my grandma was first and foremost a teacher. When she graduated high school, she went to teacher's college and she became a teacher. And at least I think she went to teacher's college. I'm not actually sure. I assume so. But anyway, she was a teacher. She was a teacher in a one-room schoolhouse, and she volunteered at all of my kindergarten classes. I think she did the same for my cousins that lived in town. She was a teacher, and education was a huge aspect of her life, and it became a huge aspect of our lives. Sometimes when we didn't want it to be, but sometimes, a lot of the times, we were okay with that. That's only a small portion of why it is that I said that she was there visiting, and that she was watching, and that she was proud of you guys, because we had gotten some really good news from both of their teachers, and they both seemed really excited to be in school and all of those things. It's also why I made their library bags out of my grandma's old clothing, because I knew that that was something that she would really appreciate, being able to still go to the library with her grandkids or great grandkids. That was just a really cool thing that I was happy that I was able to do for them. On top of her being a teacher, she was always, the biggest thing for her, she was always there. If you had a Christmas concert or a spring fling or a penny sale in the gymnasium, or you had literally anything that had anything to do with your school, your extracurriculars, your baseball games, your dance recitals, it didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter what it was. She was there. They were there. They both were. They showed up. They showed up. They were always there. And I just knew that, like, I don't know, there's something about that cardinal last night that it just told me that it was grandma, that she was there, that she was proud and she's happy and she's watching her great grandkids and she's watching me. Fuck, I miss her. So today I'm sad. So today I'm kind of in like a weird zone. I wasn't necessarily really like sad until I started talking about it, but I definitely felt a little off, and making these English muffins I'm very excited for. I cannot wait. But I feel like I need some comfort today, and the comfort is going to come in the form of peanut butter cookies. So peanut butter cookies are, excuse me, what? My grandma has this whole recipe book that I have so many plans for. I just need to wrap my brain around, because every time I pull it out, I cry. And it's really hard to make my plans with it. But these peanut butter cookies, they are one of those things that I smell them, I see them, I taste them, and it brings me right back to her and her giving them out. She always had, like, so this peanut butter cookie recipe makes a big batch, and I would not be surprised if she used to make an even bigger batch, because I remember moving out to my very first apartment when I was 19 years old, and my grandma used to supply me with all kinds of things. Anytime that I saw her, she had boxes and boxes of just, like, you know, pantry goods and frozen things for my freezer, and just made sure that I was not hungry ever. And of course, they also came with some homemade things. But she always made these peanut butter cookies, and she made a huge batch of them, and she froze them in the freezer in Ziploc bags. And anytime that I would go over there, or that she would come to visit me, she always had a bag of peanut butter cookies. Oh my God. I've already made them on this channel, and I've already posted them on my website. So if you want the recipe cookies, I highly recommend it. They're so easy and so delicious. I'm also going to be using my stand mixer, because my butter is not necessarily as soft as I'd like it to be, and I really, whoops, I'm hiding. I really just want to use the stand mixer, honestly. But you can make these cookies by hand. I've done it before. Just make sure your butter is very, very soft. But I'm gonna use my stand mixer today because I want to, so. I put saran wrap. Is it actually called saran wrap, or is that another one of those? Oh, it's called cling wrap. Is saran wrap a brand name like Kleenex? Is that one of those things that, like, saran wrap is one of those things that we think everything is saran wrap, but it's actually just a brand? You know, like all facial tissues. All Kleenex is facial tissues, but not all facial tissues are Kleenex. I put my cookie dough in the fridge. I put some parchment paper. Fucking Christ, now I can't even. Put some cling wrap on top of it so it doesn't dry out, and I just put it in the fridge to chill a little bit. This step is incredibly unnecessary. You don't need to do it. I'm only doing it because my timer for my English muffins are gonna go off in about 10 minutes, and that does not give me enough time to scoop and twirl and flatten bake cookies. So I'm going to just chill them while I am doing the next step. Oh my God. So I'm just gonna let them chill in the fridge while I'm doing the next step on the English muffins, and then get back to the cookies. But I'll be back and we'll do the next step on the English muffins. I just flicked myself in the eyeball with my freaking string. Good God. Love it?
It tastes better than the ones that we buy.
It does?
Why are you using a fork?
Well, because that is actually the secret to good English muffins, is you cut them open with a fork. It's a true story. Did you know it?
Oh. Is that what you always do? Just use the fork? How did you do that?
Oh my God, look it, I did it.
it.
What do you think? Look how like soft and fluffy and delicious. Okay, now we need to try them.
Yeah.
Cheers. Try it. What do you think?